God designed the human body as a high-performance physical machine, endowed with immense capacity that needs fuel to keep running. This essential fuel is food. To ensure that the body receives the necessary supply, God implanted in us appetite, which manifests itself through hunger. Food, therefore, satisfies our need for nutrition and provides us with vital energy, integrating itself into the natural balance that sustains life. Given this, the question arises, why would someone choose to go hungry in modern times? Nowadays, we have been conditioned to eat 3 meals a day. We are constantly reminded of the importance of a hearty breakfast as the foundation for the day, encouraged to eat to strengthen the body. Since school, we have learned the importance of 3 complete meals, combined with physical exercise, to maintain health and strength. So why skip meals? The world often associates food restriction with weight loss diets or health concerns. However, some individuals choose to abstain from food for spiritual reasons. This practice is known as fasting, mentioned several times in the Bible. Fasting is usually carried out for a specific period, with the aim of achieving a specific spiritual goal. A notable example from the Old Testament is the annual fasting requirement imposed on faithful Jews. In Leviticus 16:29, we find the determination, "And this shall be a statute forever unto you, that in the 7th month, on the 10th day of the month, ye shall afflict your souls, and do no work at all, whether it be one of your own country, or a stranger that sojourneth among you." This fast, observed on the Day of Atonement, became known as the Yom Kippur fast, which means Day of Atonement. God commanded his people to fast once a year on the Day of Atonement. Everyone participated in this fast, as God wanted everyone to remember the solemnity of salvation on that day. On the Day of Atonement, the high priest entered the Holy of Holies and offered the blood of an animal as a sacrifice for the sins of all the people. In Leviticus 16:24 we read, "And he shall wash his flesh with water in the holy place, and put on his garments, and come forth, and offer his burnt offering, and the burnt offering of the people, and make an atonement for himself and for the people." As the Day of Atonement dealt with the sins of the nation, everyone fasted to identify with the high priest, who sacrificed a lamb for the remission of their sins. Jesus instructed his disciples about fasting, as recorded in Matthew 6:16-18. "Moreover, when ye fast, be not as the hypocrites of a sad countenance, for they disfigure their faces, that they may appear unto men to fast. Verily I say unto you, they have their reward. But thou, when thou fastest, anoint thine head, and wash thy face, that thou appear not unto men to fast, but unto thy Father which is in secret, and thy Father which seeth in secret shall reward thee openly." By renouncing food, both pleasurable and necessary, you attract God's attention. However, even back then, Jesus warned us not to flaunt our fasting. Jesus warned his disciples not to fast to gain public recognition. The fact that he says, "when you fast," indicates that he considered fasting a legitimate spiritual discipline. Fasting consists of the temporary abstinence from a physical desire, usually food, in favor of a spiritual need. Instead of eating, you dedicate yourself to prayer in secret, seeking God's intervention. However, if your goal in avoiding food is for others to praise you for your apparent spirituality, then that approval will be your only reward. If you have never experienced fasting before, LO 350, the idea of going without food for any period may seem daunting. People worry about a variety of issues because we are programmed to eat 3 times a day. Many wonder if they will feel hungry and if the hunger pangs will be excruciating. Others have different concerns, such as whether they will be able to persevere. They don't want to embark on a journey they can't complete. What if you see a TV commercial suggesting that a chocolate bar will help you overcome an afternoon energy slump? Others worry about how their 0423 friends will perceive them if they fast. Will my friends think I'm weird if they find out I'm fasting? The answer is simple. You don't fast to impress your friends, and you generally don't even tell them. As mentioned earlier, Jesus said, "When you fast, put oil on your head and wash your face so that it will not be obvious to others that you are fasting, but only to your Father who is unseen, and your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you openly." Matthew 6:17 and 18. Jesus was reminding us not to make an outward display of our religious devotion to God. Instead, fasting is a private commitment between you and God. You can fast in private and not tell anyone. At other times, you may participate in a public fast, such as with your church or another individual, to address a problem. Ezra fasted with 4,000 people, and Esther asked all Jewish believers to fast for divine intervention. Every year in May, Christians are invited to participate in the National Day of Prayer and Fasting. What is fasting? Fasting is not the same as dieting, nor is it about 0538, eliminating food for health reasons. There are many types of fasts for spiritual reasons, and there are many reasons to fast and combine the experience with prayer. Fasting is a biblical discipline that can help anyone improve their spiritual conditioning and become a prayer warrior for God. Some believe that Christians do not need discipline. However, we build our strength through spiritual exercises. We must remember that we are soldiers of Christ. A good soldier is proficient in various disciplines. Fasting is just one of the 6 to 11 many disciplines of a Christian. Jesus told his disciples that when you pray for others, whether for your church or for the salvation of people, Satan will oppose you. Fasting, like climbing a mountain, is demanding both spiritually and physically. Embark on this adventure with a clear understanding of what you are doing and with the knowledge that the path ahead may be challenging, but the rewards will be worth it. Start small if this is your first fast. God will honor your first step of faith, which may seem small to others, but will be, 0643, a big step for you. God also cares about the response of your heart during fasting. Your attitude is a very important part of your fasting. Just as when a man asks a woman to marry him, it is not the length of his proposal that receives a yes, but the heart behind it. So when you start to fast, don't worry about how long your fast should last. Just make sure that your relationship with God is in good order. God knows everything. He understands and values the sincerity of your prayers more than their length. So, if you have never fasted before, start with a 0718 one-meal fast. In the Old Testament, the Jews were, in the Jewish calendar, it is mandatory to perform a one-day fast on Yom Kippur each year. This day begins at sunset and ends at sunset the following day. The counting of days, according to Jewish tradition, was taught by God, where the evening and the morning were the first day, as in Genesis 1:5. When planning your fast, consider starting it at the exact time of sunset or shortly before. This implies omitting the usual evening meal and subsequently breakfast and lunch the next day. Traditionally, after sunset, most Jews break the fast with a normal meal, 7:56. Although individual prayer and personal fasting constitute the basis of all intercession, if this is your first experience, considering starting your fasting journey accompanied may be a good idea. If you are fasting in search of a specific answer to a prayer, invite someone to pray and fast together with you. Unity is strength. Jesus stated in Matthew 18:19, "Verily I say unto you, whatsoever ye shall bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatsoever ye shall loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. Again I say unto you, that if two of you shall agree on earth as touching anything that they shall ask, it shall be done for them of my Father which is in heaven." These verses transcend mere prayer. They also address the commitment we make in agreement with another person. Think of it this way. When planning a vacation with someone, the experience becomes more memorable if you plan, idealize, and share the experiences together. Sharing your vacation with another person likely intensifies your enjoyment. The same applies to fasting. By sharing the experience of fasting and praying together, your prayers are likely to become more focused. Fasting with No 908. Another person, on the other hand, carries additional benefits. You will have someone with whom to discuss your doubts, questions, and fears. If fasting intimidates you, the strength of another person can help you overcome it. You can always contact each other for advice and to check each other's progress. This phone call may be the encouragement needed to persist. Don't forget the celebration. When climbing a mountain alone, you do it to prove something to yourself, and the victory is exclusively yours. However, when climbing with others, you have several people to celebrate, 0942 together. Upon reaching the top, you celebrate, hug each other, and then return to share your victory with everyone. Upon completing the fast, you can rejoice together. The simple company makes the taste of victory even sweeter. Another advantage of fasting with a friend is that it establishes accountability. You will be less likely to eat a snack or break your fast if you know that a friend is aware of your fast. Perhaps you have already run or walked for health reasons with a friend. If so, you understand how having a partner can help you maintain the commitment when 10-16 things get difficult. If you are strong, you may not need someone to help with accountability. However, if not, joining someone in the same situation can be beneficial. Fasting with purpose. As you prepare to fast, deeply investigate your heart to discover the reason for your fast. There are countless reasons to fast, which we will address. You may already have a reason in mind. When young David faced Goliath, no other Israelite soldier wanted to confront the giant. Not only did they refuse to fight Goliath, but each presented David with a different reason to avoid 10:51, the battle. However, David did not waver. He had a compelling reason to fight. Fighting this particular giant is not just about praying and fasting. Fasting has a purpose. Are you willing to fast and give up your pleasures? Make a list of your causes. Write them on a piece of paper so you can see them with your own eyes. When you keep a cause only in your mind, it can become cloudy or vague. You may have a general idea of why you should fast now, but take the time to write down your reasons. This will sharpen your focus. If you see it written down, plan everything. Don't enter your fast, 11:27, casually or with a careless attitude. Plan to succeed, otherwise you are likely to fail. Do not participate in a fast just to see how far you can go. I'll try until I feel hungry, some people have said about fasting. They then give up at the first sign of discomfort. Make a firm commitment to fast for a day, regardless of the circumstances. You have gone from thinking about fasting and wanting to be more spiritual to taking the next step and committing to seek God for your cause. You are committing to fast-based, 12A, on God's grace and help. Types of fasts. The absolute fast. This is a fast where you eliminate all food and water. Paul went through this type of fast for 3 days after seeing the Lord Jesus on the road to Damascus and being struck blind. And he was 3 days without sight, and neither did eat nor drink. Acts 9:9. For your first fast, do not do the absolute fast. This fast is intended for those who are deeply distressed or are fasting to resolve a serious problem, such as deliverance from an addiction or protection against 1237, a spiritual adversary. The normal fast. During this fast, you avoid all solid food and only drink liquids. Fasting is most often used in the Bible to refer to people who did not eat solid foods. The question of drinking liquids is often omitted. And in those days, he did eat nothing, and when they were ended, he afterward hungered. Luke 4:2. There is no mention of Jesus drinking liquids. When people fast, what do they drink? Many cut out pleasurable drinks such as soda and various types of fruit juices. This corresponds to the Old Testament description of them afflicting 13:16 themselves and fasting, Isaiah 58:3, the partial fast. In this fast, you eliminate certain liquids or solids, but not all. This is also known as the Daniel fast, because he did not eat from the king's table, but insisted in Daniel 1:12. Prove thy servants, I beseech thee, 10 days, and let them give us pulse to eat and water to drink. The fast did not harm Daniel or his friends. At another time, Daniel reflected the spirit of the partial fast in Daniel 10:3. I ate no pleasant bread, neither came flesh nor wine in my mouth, neither did I anoint myself at all, till 3 whole weeks were fulfilled. This partial fast specifies what Daniel avoided. Number 1, pleasant foods, similar to our donuts or cakes, a dessert fast. Number 2, meat, a meat-free diet. Number 3, wine, anything that is pleasurable or brings joy. John Wesley's fast. As the founder and leader of the great Methodist movement, John Wesley would call all of his traveling preachers to the new chapel or to London for a conference every 2 or 3 months to prepare themselves spiritually for the conference. Wesley would fast for 10 days before each meeting, 1434, consuming only natural whole wheat bread. After drinking water, Wesley would fast and pray, seeking spiritual power to influence his ministries. At these meetings, everyone agreed that those Methodist preachers left the conference with a determination to transform the world. These same preachers established the largest Protestant denomination on the planet, a reflection of the honor God bestowed on Wesley's spiritual dedication to fasting and prayer. The rotational fast is a practice rarely seen in Christian circles, as its primary use is for medical purposes, 1509, especially to identify an individual's reaction or allergy to certain food groups, seeking to cleanse the body. The patient usually starts with a normal or absolute fast for 1 day, and then, for 6 days, only one new food group is introduced and consumed each day, alternating between the groups. This process helps to identify the food that is causing the person's physical problem through elimination and exclusion. When choosing a fast, several factors need to be taken into account. Before deciding which approach is best for you, assess your specific situation, 1547. Here are some suggestions. First time factor. As mentioned earlier, if this is your first experience with fasting, I suggest starting with a 1-day fast, like Yom Kippur. If you want to fast for a longer period, aiming to address a serious or ongoing issue, it may be preferable to fast 1 day a week for 3 weeks, rather than starting with a 3-day fast. Remember that, being this your first fast, you are embarking on an unknown journey. Proceed with caution, as you are learning new skills and attitudes for both body and soul. Your first fast, 1622, should be a normal fast, where you do not ingest food, only liquids, for 1 day. This practice will help train your body not to react negatively if, later, you eliminate both food and liquids. Matching factor. Try to match the reason for your fast to the type of fast you choose. Opt for a normal fast for a routine request, and choose a fast with more stringent requirements for a more serious problem. Comfort factor. You should feel at peace with both the duration and the type of fast. Obviously, when deciding what you will eliminate, 1659, when praying you should not doubt yourself, nor feel guilty for doing something wrong. Choose a type of fast that allows you to feel comfortable with your decision. Time factor. A variety of factors influence your decision to fast or the duration of your fast. You should consider your weekly schedule. Which days of the week are not suitable for fasting? What special event is coming up where fasting is not advisable? Thanksgiving, Christmas, weddings, etc. Never start a fast with a long period, as you have no idea what to expect, 1734, from your body or how you will react emotionally. A 1-day fast is much more manageable. Whatever fast you choose as your first, keep in mind that it is a leap of faith. God sees your heart and will reward you accordingly. Prayer. May God grant us the wisdom to understand the spiritual purpose and benefits of fasting, reminding us that it is not just the abstinence from food that brings us closer to Him, but the sincerity of our hearts and the search for a deeper connection through prayer. May we fast not to be seen by the eyes of others, 18:10, but to be seen by the heart of God, who sees in secret and rewards openly. We thank the Lord for the strength and discipline that fasting provides, teaching us to depend more on Him and less on ourselves. Amen. If this material has been helpful, I ask for your support by subscribing to the channel and sharing the video so that you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. Together, we can illuminate more consciences and expand our knowledge. Thank you for your presence, and may God bless you.